Have you ever really examined your relationships? And I'm not talking like relationships with people. I'm not talking like your romantic relationships or your friendships, or your work colleagues. I'm talking about your relationships you have everywhere else in your life. Relationships to the things you do, relationships to the ways that you identify yourself, Like, let's say you were really attracted to somebody and they were a mountain biker. And so you adopted mountain biking as a way to resonate with them, as a way to align with them, And then after you were no longer in that relationship anymore, you still continued to mountain bike. And then you started to tell everybody, well, mountain biking is who I am. That's just something I do. Something I really enjoy. And that could be true, 100% true. But the foundation of that relationship you have with mountain biking is in trying to people please somebody else or trying to align with somebody else. So that taints your relationship with that thing. And maybe you're really competitive when you mountain bike, or maybe you're a daredevil and you're like come close to breaking your ass every time you're out there. Could that be the reason why you do that? Is because you have that slightly dysfunctional relationship with mountain biking? And you identify it as a part of yourself. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. I think it's a natural part of relationships, but at some point it makes sense for us to actually examine those kind of relationships in our lives and correct them. Maybe in the case of the mountain biking, maybe step away from it for a while and actually re-enter it, actually really examine it, really examine it. Step away from it for a while, really examine it and go, yeah, that's who I am, and re-enter it from that place of purity, a place of, truth, a place of honesty. Because you might pull yourself away from that and you might find yourself going, oh fuck, I was putting a lot of energy there and it's not really who I am. I was really identifying with that for a long time and it's not really who I am. And that's a good process to go through. It makes sense to go through that, and look at all of our relationships with different things and get ourselves right with those relationships.